Recently, DUWC, the organisation I work for, have been awarded a pot of funding from the North Derbyshire Miners Welfare Trust to specifically provide benefits advice and support to former mine workers across Bolsover and the Derbyshire area more widely, to provide them with benefits advice, support and representation. So we're here today to kind of mark the start of that campaign and to try and make sure that we reach as many former mine workers and their family members as we can, to make sure that they are maximising their income through the welfare benefit system. What we're predominantly focusing on is a benefit called Attendance Allowance, which is a benefit which is available to people who have reached state pension age and who have been experiencing a health condition over the past 6 months, which has led to them needing support from someone else. So that may be a family member, that may be a caring professional. And the chances are that they are eligible for attendance allowance on the basis that they have accrued additional costs in relation to their disability. So that can be a physical disability related to perhaps the work they previously did, or it can be a mental health condition. Either is absolutely acceptable, and you may be eligible for an attendance allowance award. And what we have found in our experience is that people don't know about attendance allowance. So we want to kind of get that message out there to everyone really, but obviously in the context of today to former mine workers and their families. I think that there is an issue around awareness of attendance allowance, so that's partly what we're trying to rectify through our campaigning. But there's also a kind of apathy. I think a lot of people might look at the length of a form and think, well, that's just too long, that's too much work, and I'm not going to get it anyway. And our experience is that when people come to us for support, their chances of getting a successful award are so much higher because our advisors are experienced in completing that kind of paperwork. And I think there is also an issue of there being an element of stigma around claiming welfare benefits, particularly for people that may have worked all of their lives and have never actually claimed anything. Whereas, we're here to kind of remove that stigma, to remove any anxiety people might have about putting in a claim, and to make it as easy as possible for former mine workers. So while today we're focusing on attendance allowance, we offer support on every aspect of the welfare benefits and credit system. So that includes pension credit and other old age benefits. So we don't want to limit ourselves to just attendance allowance because it's such a broad spectrum of benefits that are available to people, so we don't want anyone to miss out.
And in terms of the attendance allowance, what types of benefits can they expect to receive if they are successful?
So there are 2 rates of attendance allowance. So you'll either get the lower rate or the higher rate depending on the level of support you require from someone else. So the lower rate is around £61 a week and the higher rate is £101 a week. And it's paid on a monthly basis in arrears. So we are talking quite a significant potential income for a lot of people in the area. The other thing I'd emphasise is that when you go onto the DWP's website, they give you 2 options about how you can request an attendance allowance application form. You can either download it from their website and print it out and complete it yourself, or you can phone up the helpline and request them to send you a form. We would always advise people to do the latter and to phone up and request a form, because that is technically the start of your claim. So if you're successful, the DWP will backdate your claim to when you made that phone call. So that can be a kind of, say it takes 2 months to get a decision, not only would you get a weekly award going forward, you'd be entitled to 2 months worth of benefit. So I would always encourage people to phone up.
You mentioned right at the start of the month that you received some assistance, some help in
Yes.
terms of the mining community.
Yeah.
Is there a figure you can put on that? How much money, or is it?
So we've been given basically a year-long grant to run, and that's allowed us to recruit a new full-time advisor to work on this project. So we will have a dedicated person who will be responsible for working with former mine workers and families. So we've got our outreach centres across Bolsover. We've got Shirebrook, Bolsover itself, Creswell, Clown and New Huffon. But on top of that, if you can't make it to any of those centres, if you say you've got mobility problems or you're just not able to leave the house, our advisor will be able to come to your property and help you with an attendance allowance or any other kind of benefit claim. So, you know, we've got the resources in place thanks to this funding to be able to go that extra mile and